in my business, the business of being a freelance writer, you do a lot of waiting. This is really true. You do a lot of waiting because you send things in to your editor or your agent, and you have to wait to hear back a response. Even giving your wife something. My wife is my first and my best editor, and even when I give her something to read, I do a lot of waiting to hear what she has to say. And we have a saying in my house, my wife and I, which is that what happens is as you wait, things become distorted. As you wait for news, things become distorted. You start to think, well, it's taken them 2 weeks to get back to me. Maybe they hate it. Maybe they can't tell me. Or maybe they haven't even read it because they don't care about me. And maybe they don't, you start to, your mind goes a little crazy. And so my wife and I have this slogan, no news is no news. So, people will say no news is good news. We say no news is no news. If you don't have anything to say, there's nothing to say. So right now, deep into the summer, we're heading deep into the summer, there is no news. There is nothing is happening. And so everything gets distorted. Everything that people say gets blown out. So yesterday, I think it was yesterday, Trump was saying, I would be willing. He met with the Italian prime minister, and they both are very big on keeping control over their borders. And he made some comment like, if I don't get a border wall, I would shut down the government. And today on a front page of the magazines and on the big op-eds, Trump has destroyed the chances of Congress for the midterms, of Republicans keeping hold of Congress for the midterms by shutting down the government, by threatening to shut down. He's not going to shut down the government before the midterms. What is he, an idiot? Of course, he's not going to do that. People get really ticked off when the government shut down, and it really depends who gets the blame. But if you say, I'm going to let the government shut down, and then the government shuts down, you'll probably get the blame. So he's not going to do that. So it's like a non-story, but you have to listen to it. Then Rudy Giuliani, I'm beginning to wonder a little bit if he's drinking a little bit of what Nancy Pelosi is drinking, because he comes on. I mean, Rudy is one of my heroes, by the way, because he cleaned up New York like Wyatt Earp in Dodge City. And I don't care what anybody says. I mean, when he went into that town, it was a crime-ridden cesspit of a town. I was there. I know. When he left, it was the greatest city on earth. I mean, when he left, it was the greatest, cleanest, safest city on earth. So he's a hero, but he's always been a little loopy. And he was on TV yesterday saying Trump is not guilty of collusion, and collusion's not a crime anyway.
I don't even know if that's a crime, colluding about Russians.
Okay.
You start analyzing the crime. The hacking is the crime.
That certainly is the original.
Well, the president didn't hack.
Of course not. That's the original.
He didn't pay them for hacking.
And as you know, it has led other places. The meeting with the Russians.
If you got the hacked information from the Russians here at CNN and you played it, would you be in jeopardy of going to jail? Of course not.
So people are saying, well, if he's not guilty of collusion, what difference does it make if it's a crime? It doesn't make it. He's just talking off the top of his head and he's blithering and making everything worse. So there's the stuff that is passing for news.